Body modifications, they're a hot topic right now. I spent a week trying to find out more about the extreme body modifications and people's views on them, both publicly and in the workplace. But it seems like we in the community are being attacked. Earlier this year, Wolverhampton-based body modifier Dr. Evil was jailed for 3 years for performing tongue splitting and ear and nipple removal, even though he had 100% full consent from his customers. Last year, the UK government classed female genital piercings as female genital mutilation and therefore making them illegal. When I worked at Marks and Spencer's, I had a small helix piercing in the top of my left ear and was forced to take it out after just 3 weeks. So as the more extreme slowly becoming illegal, I went to see a professional body modifier and tattoo artist to find out more.
Nice.
Thank you so much for this interview. So I've got a few questions about body modifications and body modification discrimination in general.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'd like to know your initial thoughts on any and all types of body modifications.
My thoughts, I think as long as it's not offensive and you're not upsetting anybody, you do what you like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's your skin, your body, your whatever, like, totally up to you. Obviously, once it starts getting to the tattoos that are kind of offensive to people, that's when I would say no.
Yeah.
But like anything else, you just want a little whatever on your arm, come here.
So how were you first introduced to the world of body modification and tattooing?
My whole family has always had a lot of tattoos. So my uncle's got like a couple of sleeves, my dad's got all his stomach and chest done, my auntie's got a load, my mum's got a load, like everybody in my family's always had tattoos. I think the first time I really kind of was thrown in the deep end of it was my dad got his first tattoo done in Whitney, and he came home and he had like a big Native American across his chest, and I was just like, that's so cool. Yeah. So that was when I first got really introduced to it. Yeah.
Is that when you decided to become a tattoo artist?
Yeah, it would have been about that sort of time, which I must be about 11, 10, something like that. I thought, oh, that's what I want to do. Yeah.
I love all tattoo. Do you think, so going into more of the discrimination side of things, do you think there is ever a good reason for someone to be fired or prevented from getting a job because they have any sort of modification?
Not really. Well, I can understand it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't work in Marks and Spencer's if you've got a swastika tattooed on the back of your hand. Yeah. It's just not going to happen. Like, and you would be silly to think that you could. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things, and you've got to think about it's okay. This is what you've done to your body, and that's one thing. But then, if that's not the way the company are that way inclined, then you can understand why. Like, for example, then Lush. Yeah. Everybody in Lush has always got tattoos and piercings because it's part of their brand. Yeah. Where everybody in are lawyers or solicitors or whatever business sense, not so much, because it's also again part of that brand. Yeah. So you have to. It's down to kind of the industry that you're in and everything else. Like, I mean, it doesn't, just because they've got tattoos doesn't mean they're a bad lawyer. Yeah. But it changes certain people's aspects, like opinions on what they see as people walk in. Do you know what I mean? So.
I used to work in Marks and Spencer's actually.
Yeah.
And I had a small helix piercing at the top of my ear.
Yeah.
And I had the one tattoo I had at the time, which is on my ankle.
Yeah. And
I was wearing sort of 3/4 length trousers, and someone came up to me and asked if I knew where they could buy magic mushrooms.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
And I said to them, what makes you think that I will know where to buy them? And she said, oh, you look like the type.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Which little old lady ran M&S was magic mushrooms, like.
Well, no, it wasn't an old lady. It was someone who themselves were quite heavily modified.
Oh, right. Okay.
So.
Weird.
That is weird. So. On to more extreme forms of body modification, not just sort of like the simple one. So what are your thoughts on sort of more extreme body modifications like tongue splitting, ear pointing, eyeball tattooing?
Yeah.
I think that looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Eyeball tattooing.
I mean, as long as I don't have to do it, that's fine. Like, I would never want to tattoo anybody's eyeball. Like, I just wouldn't want to do it. I think that's up to the person. Do you know what I mean? If that's what they want to do, like, go for it. It's not my kind of thing. Like, I don't know, tongue splitting can be quite cool, but I know personally I wouldn't get it done. Yeah. But again, it's up to an individual kind of person, you know. So for me, tattooing is So before I was a tattoo artist, I was an illustrator,
Yeah.
And I was a graphic designer as well. And I've always studied art and that kind of part side of the industry. So like the art side of it is what grabs me more so than the body modification. And as a tattoo artist and as an artist in general, I'd never worked on a medium like I've worked with the skin.
Yeah.
So I've tried painting and printmaking and graphic design and just everything under the sun that you can imagine. But nothing's kind of worked the way that the skin works, which is why I'm so fascinated with it. But if people do want to get tongue splitting and ear pointing, I don't see that any different to lip filler, nose jobs and boob jobs. Like it's all the same thing. Like I'm not getting any of it done, but like if you want it, you crack on. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I really want to get my tongue split in my ears pointed.
Really? Yeah. There was a guy. His name was Picasso. He was an artist that worked with us for a while. Big name from Ink Master. He had his ears pointed and tongue done. He had a tattoo across his forehead and stuff. So, and it looked rad. Like it looked really cool. But yeah, it's just. Ow. Like, it's what worries me more than anything else.
My tongue piercing was probably the most painful one. I can only imagine how painful it is.
I had my nose done and I was like, no more piercings for me. Like, I don't really.
The only piercing you have.
It's the only one I got. Yeah, I had my ear done when I was younger, but it just never. I just took it out.
Ear stretching hurts like a bitch.
Yeah, never bothered with that.
What sort of training does a person have to go through to do the more extreme?
Oh, crazy amounts. Absolutely crazy amounts. Yeah, like Flick's room is the second room down, and her wall is just covered in certificates and kind of the level of qualifications she has to have before she can get anywhere near anything like that.
Yeah.
A lot of it's to do with like she does a lot of time with nurses and stuff, and it's a lot of medical stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it's something amazing to see. Like I don't have that much patience to go through all that, but it's the training you go through it because it's not obviously in the doctors and stuff. But it's the same level. Do you know what I mean? What was it?
So Dr. Evil.
Dr. Evil, that was it. Yeah, like the amount of training he's going to have to have gone through to get anywhere near that is unbelievable. Because I know Flick does a lot of the training for. She tattoos on people's like nipples when they lose them after chemo, and she tattoos eyebrows on for alopecia patients and stuff like that. So she's a wide knowledge and understanding of not only just the practice itself, but like kind of the healthcare that surrounds that. Because when you're tattooing people with long underlying illnesses, the skin reacts and acts differently to what it did with someone who doesn't have an illness. It tends to be a lot more aggressive, tends to bleed, tends to get a little bit more like kind of projection and stuff, but with the level of training that she's got, she knows how to deal with that. So that's the main thing. Like it's a shame she's not here today, otherwise she'd just be like But yeah, she's I'd say her form, the amount of certificates she's got is just insane. So that's what she's into. So yeah.
Thank you very much. It's been very interesting.
Pleasure, yeah.
I went to Abingdon and Whitney College to ask the Vice Principal, JP Houlihan, about body modifications in the workplace. What are the college's official policies on staff with body modifications?
It is effectively, it isn't something that we look to come down on unless it's something it means that they're not unable to carry out the duties of their task. So it's more in areas that it could be construction, for example. There could be particular issues there regarding some body modifications, and also the same in catering as well. But it tends to be, is it something that prevents the teachers from being able to do their job?
Right, what about, so same question but for students?
Again, it's more about, I see at that point, and it's a difficult thing, you don't want to be going into sort of taste and decency necessarily. I mean, people have the complete right and freedom to express themselves, as long as it's not something that's going to prove a barrier or a hindrance to their education.
Right. So, people who are like trying to get jobs here, they walk into an interview, they've got tattoos, body modifications, not stuff that you can necessarily see. So maybe they have had a bit of plastic surgery done. Would you still hire them if they're capable of their job?
Absolutely, because it's about their ability to do the job first and foremost. That is our foremost concern. What necessarily they look like, I mean, you're getting into a part then where you're discriminating against someone as a result of having tattoos and body modifications. I've yet to see in all my years of teaching and being involved in education how a body modification has inhibited a teacher from being able to do their job. So for us, it is something that we would never look at discriminating against someone as a result of that. And the way people dress and the way people, in terms of body modification and the change that's happened over the years, it's something that there's going to be changes in more people are going to have body modifications and more people are going to have tattoos than what it would have been 40 years ago. So the idea of comparing kind of eras of this is how it has always been to how it is now, it's a different society and it's a different world.
So yeah, that's actually covered everything. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I decided to ask a few members of the public to find out more. Okay, so what are your thoughts on any and all types of body modifications?
It's your body, your deal. I've got loads of tattoos and piercings myself. I'm lucky enough they've never affected my job, so I'm probably a bit more liberal with it than some people would be.
Have you ever experienced discrimination or hostility for your piercings and tattoos?
The most I've ever had is obviously I've got a retainer in at the moment, so it's like clear plastic, and it's also really flexible, so I can flip it up. But other than that, I have got quite a big tattoo there. I did have one job where I was told that I couldn't wear anything by the neck. But my current job at the moment, I don't really mind.
What are your thoughts on people being fired or not being able to get jobs because they have body modification?
I think it's ridiculous because it doesn't affect your job ability to do your job in any way, shape or form. It's, I mean, obviously I'm biased because I know that my tattoos don't affect my ability to do my job, but I kind of feel like I get that it's a customer service point of view and they want you to look professional and respectable, but I kind of think it's also something that needs to change with the times and accept that it's so much more widespread now. It's not something that's just done by a certain society. Loads of people got it and they're perfectly capable for it.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you think anyone should ever be fired because or prevented from getting a job because they have body modification?
No, not at all. No, because it doesn't affect their ability to do a job.
No, that is very, very good. So I can see you have your ears pierced. Have you ever experienced any hostile nature because you have your ears pierced?
No, not at all.
Oh, no, that's good.
Never.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. It seems that most people I've asked here today have had positive reactions to body modifications, but some might argue that the UK government will not be happy until any and all modifications are made illegal. But if that happens, then stuff will just get pushed underground and you'll get people who aren't qualified and don't know what they're doing performing procedures they cannot do. And people will be left with horrific lasting consequences that the UK government could have easily avoided. And that is something we do not want. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've been Owen Daly.